Welcome everyone to another episode of Pi Bytes. For our topic today, we're going to go over a potential fix for audio issues when you're using an HDMI connection. The common symptom is you plug your RetroPie into a television and everything works great. And then when you move it to a different television, all of a sudden you don't have sound. So there's a couple of options in Emulation Station and Raspberry config you can try to force the audio over the HDMI connection. But if that doesn't work, try this fix. So this can be performed at the command line, and you can either do it on your Raspberry Pi if you have a connected keyboard, or you could remote into your Raspberry Pi, either way. The window you see here is I have a remote connection into my RetroPie setup, and I'm sitting at the Home Pi directory. And we need to edit a single file, and this file is located in the boot directory. So type cd space /boot. That'll change directory into the boot directory. Type ls space -l and hit enter. That will give us a long, what's called a long listing. So as you can see, all of these files are owned by user root, and we are logged in as user pi, so we aren't able to directly edit these files. However, there's a command we can type to precede our text editor Nano that will allow us to edit these files. We're going to use the Nano text editor, very much like a notepad editor for Linux. So let's run the Nano editor and edit the config.txt file. To execute it, we're going to type sudo space nano for the Nano editor, config.txt. What this command does, it says execute the Nano text editor. We're going to edit the config.txt file, but the sudo command on the very front of it means run this command with root privileges, and that will allow us to edit this file. Go ahead and hit enter. And within this Nano editor, you can just use your arrow keys, and just like a normal editor like Notepad. So we're going to scroll down until we see a certain line, and I'm going to let the screen wrap. Okay, so right in the middle of the screen, you see this one line here that says $HDMI underscore drive equals 2. What we need to do is we need to remove this pound sign. So arrow over to the edge and hit your backspace key. That'll take it off. Now we need to exit and save this file. To do that, within the Nano editor, hold down your control key and press the letter X. Since we modified this file, we're going to be asked, do we wish to save this file? In our case, we do. So hit the letter Y and enter. So what that does is we've edited that file, we've saved it, and we've exited. So at this point, go ahead and issue a reboot on your Raspberry Pi. And if you need to, you can type the word exit right here and hit enter. And that should launch either a track mode or emulation station, whichever front end that you use. But go ahead and just do this one change, reboot, and see if that fixes your sound issues over HDMI. If it doesn't, there are 2 more lines that we can put in this file that may help get audio back over HDMI. Normally, this one change fixes it. However, there are instances where it doesn't, and you do need some additional lines in this file. Once we're back in this directory, we're going to edit that file again. So sudo nano config.txt and hit enter. These next 2 lines are usually not in this file anywhere. And I'm just going to scroll quickly to see if I can find them. So yeah, they're not in this file normally, so that's okay. Come back up to the same area where we uncommented or we removed that pound sign earlier, HDMI underscore drive equal 2, and let's type the 2 following lines. HDMI underscore force underscore hot plug all together equals 1. Hit enter. And then the second line that we want to type is HDMI underscore force underscore EDID underscore audio equals 1. And go ahead and hit enter. That'll just give us a blank line to separate them out. With these 2 additional lines that we've just typed in, if the original just uncommenting the HDMI drive 2 didn't fix it, Adding these two additional lines in should resolve your sound issues over HDMI. And once again, to save it, we hit Control X, hit the letter Y, and hit Enter. And we're back at the terminal command prompt. And once again, go ahead and issue a reboot of your Raspberry Pi and let it come back up, and that should fix your sound problems.